How's it going, crew? This is Happy Days, and welcome to another episode of our Easy Farm series, where we farm different things in Terraria using basic materials you can get around the time you would usually farm it in the game. And today we're going to do something that has been requested quite a lot, and that is the Solar Eclipse. Now, the Solar Eclipse is a hard mode event which can start all by itself once you've beaten one mechanical boss. Now, the interesting thing about the Solar Eclipse is it changes depending on your progress in the game. So we're actually going to look at a basic farm I've got here, and then I'm also going to show you some easy alterations you can make to deal with the more advanced mobs that happen throughout the game. So let's get started. Okay, so to get started with the Solar Eclipse, I'm using a design that I've used a bit, and it's just a basic volcano. And what happens is a lot of the mobs in Terraria have what's called a fighter AI, and all they do when they have a fighter AI is they run and they try and get close to you and hit you with their body. Now, you can use this to your advantage by standing underneath the volcano trap, and the mobs will just run inside. So let's give that a test now. Now, I've actually got a solar tablet just so we can make the event start when we want it to. But normally the event has about a 1 in 25 chance of occurring by itself once you've beaten a mechanical boss. So you'll see that the mobs that spawn when you've only beaten one mechanical boss all have the fighter AI, and they just charge at you. And they'll just run and jump into the lava pit. So the farm is about, I'd say it's about 25 blocks wide, and it's about 10 blocks high, and you just smooth the edges into a bit of a volcano shape. So you can see even the vampires fly along it. Now, you wouldn't even have to use teleporters if you don't want to. You can either just dig the blocks and replace them, you can actuate a little passageway, it's all up to you. But at this stage of the Solar Eclipse, you really don't need any special equipment. All you need to do is stand underneath it, and the loot will drop right on top of your head. So you're 100% safe, which is awesome. However, that's not the case once you've beaten all the mech bosses. So let's move forward now and look at what happens once Mothron and deadly spheres start to spawn. Okay. So what we're going to do next is actually prepare the bottom area here to make a bit more room to deal with the Mothron and the deadly spheres. So all you need to do is just expand the area a little bit, and all you want to do, your volcano might be different size to mine, just open the blocks just to the edge here, just where the ramp starts. And then you want to lower the sides by another 4 blocks. And what you're actually doing is creating a bit of an open area. And you'll see why in a moment. We're going to add some traps to this. So just doing the same on the other side. Just opening it all up. And yes, I know there's a bit of honey in here. I was playing around with different designs before. And yes, I was playing with honey. So let's just get rid of this excess wall here, because it looks a bit manky, and we don't want that. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is add in a few spears. Now, just before I continue and you go, "Spears, what are you talking about, Happy?" Basically, the next upgrade to the Solar Eclipse happens when you've defeated all the mech bosses, and that starts spawning Mothron. And then the next one again is once you've defeated Plantera. Now, I think it's worth quickly raiding the temple to get some traps. And I think, look, I've put 8 spears down, but if you only get, say you get 5 spears, just put 2 one side and 3 the other. And spiky balls are very common. And what I want you to do with those is just put them a bit lower down. And I'll just put these up here. The reason for putting the spiky balls lower is that if you put them too high, they'll actually bounce up to you and do damage. And that's not very nice. That will make you sad. And you don't want that. So, we're just putting all our traps down, and we'll actuate them in a moment so we can freely pass through them, which will be awesome. And as you can see, the farm's just merrily, I've just been ignoring it, but it's merrily killing all the mobs nicely while we're doing this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is quickly actuate all these traps so they're ready to party. And let's just get all that like that. Beautiful. Okay, so... I accidentally summoned the twins. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is just actuate all the traps, and that's so we don't block any of our summons from attacking the deadly spheres and all that good stuff. And which summons will we use though? Well, that will all be revealed very soon. Okay, so let's put our timer down and actuate all these. Beautiful. And then the next thing you want to do is just take all the actuators off, because otherwise they'll keep reactuating and you don't want that. Okay, that doesn't take too long. So once you so we're going to be spawning the upgraded Solar Eclipse after this. I'll just go quickly kill the rest of the mech bosses and Plantera. And then Deadly Spheres and Mothron will start spawning down here. Now, once you've beaten Plantera, you can get the Pygmy Staff and the Tiki Armor. And that's a critical part of making this second part of the farm work. So let's move on to that now. And just before we summon the upgraded Solar Eclipse, I just want to talk about equipment for the event. So once you've beaten all the mech bosses and you've beaten Plantera, equipment you'd be wanting to have for the second part of this farm to work is the Tiki set, which you can get from the Witch Doctor, the Pygmy Staff from Plantera, and this is a normal mode farm, which I probably should have mentioned earlier. I'm sure you could get this to work in expert mode by using things like the Worm Scarf and things like that, but I'll need to do a little bit more testing for that. Okay, accessories. You can get the Hercules Beetle and the Pygmy Necklace from the Witch Doctor, which increase your summons power. And basically what we'll be doing is summoning lots of pygmies in the bottom box with us. And they're fantastic at fighting off the Deadly Spheres and the Mothron. If you've got the Pirate Staff, you'll notice it's got very strong knockback with the Hercules Beetle Eclipse. And I put just one in the box just to help with Mothron. I've got a Cross Necklace to help with just avoiding a bit more damage. And you'll notice all my accessories are on warding, just for that extra defense. So you can see straight away the Reapers are being fought off easily by the combination of the Pygmies and the Spear Traps. Now for regen, I've got Heart Lanterns, Campfire and Honey. I'm not using any potions because this is an AFK farm, but if you wanted to use potions, like, it's going to make you survive even better again. So you'll notice there's new monsters now. We've got the Dr. Manfly, you'll get the Nailhead, the Butcherer that drops the Butcherer's Chainsaw, and most importantly there's the Deadly Spheres and Mothron. Okay, so a Mothron's just spawned, and you can see, yes, we are taking damage, but the combination of the high defense accessories and the pygmies and the regen enables you to kill it without actually being killed yourself. Mothrons don't spawn that quickly one after the other, so you should be able to regen any damage you've taken before another Mothron spawns. And yeah, it's a pretty effective farm, and it's not using any endgame equipment. Like, I'm not using Stardust cells or, you know, oh my gosh, there's another Mothron already. But as you can see, this farm deals with Mothrons quite easily. So yeah, pretty effective, and you still get the drops because it usually hovers right over you. Probably the only thing you would have to go and get yourself is the deadly sphere stuff. It'll probably drop just to the sides. Okay, so the day has finished, which means the solar eclipse is over. So let's take a look at our loot. I separated the Amaroks because they're only dropping because we're in an ice biome. So we got quite a few moonstones. We got some of the Butcher's chainsaw, which is pretty cool. Got broken hero sword, some toxic flasks, and the ice spring, which is a pet, which is kind of cool. And yeah, look, it's just a matter of time until you get the deadly sphere and things like the Mothron wings, because they've only got a 5% chance, the Mothron rings and rarer things like that. But yeah, it's a super effective farm, guys. I've made the bottom areas a bit bigger, just so you got knockback room so the deadly spheres can't get to you as easy. And yeah, definitely try it out. It's worth waiting to beat Plantera and get the pygmy stuff, because I find the pygmies are the best summon to use. I tried the spider stuff, but it wasn't that useful. The pirates are okay with their knockback, but so use that if you haven't got pygmies yet. But yeah, pygmies are probably my favourite, and you get them pretty much at the same time that you can summon deadly spheres and all that stuff anyway. Alright, so leave a like if you've enjoyed this video. Keep those comments coming for what else you'd like to see me putting in the Easy Farm series. And if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, click that little HD icon in the bottom right corner. You won't be disappointed. Until next time, stay happy, and I'll see you soon. This is HappyDays signing out. See ya! And that means that Ectoplasm will be, yeah, getting farmed nicely. And you can see that was dead easy to set up that. So the mobs can cruise up the sides. The mimics can get in, which is one of the main things. Yeah, we've got lots of good loot. Oh, he's got 3,000 health! He's only got 3,000!